Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a courtroom, right? The prosecution's case seems to be, well, falling apart,
Yeah.
and the defense is kind of struggling to give a clear alternative story.
Hmm.
That's exactly where we are today, dropping into day 6 of this cold case trial, Georgia versus Christopher Wolfenbarger.
It's a really gripping one.
We're going to look at why the state basically seemed to surrender and how the defense's own family witnesses maybe didn't help their case much.
It's fascinating stuff from the court reports you shared. Our job is to really pull out the key moments from that day.
Okay, so day 6. It opens, and you could really feel the tension, couldn't you?
Oh, definitely.
After 3 days where their witnesses were challenged, evidence picked apart, the prosecution just rests.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it felt less like some big strategy, more like throwing in the towel almost, given the situation.
Well, yeah, because what did they actually have? There wasn't any DNA.
None.
No fingerprints, zero physical evidence tying Christopher Wolfenbarger to Melissa's dismembered remains.
So the whole thing was just the circumstance. Story.
Exactly. Just circumstantial narratives and witnesses whose credibility was, frankly, shot by that point. It really shows the uphill battle with these cold cases. Time just erodes everything.
Evidence degrades, memories, they fuzzy.
Precisely.
So, okay, the state rests, then the defense calls Christopher's sister, Kimberly Cameron.
Yeah, the first defense witness.
And she comes out saying Melissa specifically told her she wanted Kathy, Christopher's mom, to get custody.
Not Melissa's own parents.
Right. She apparently called them not good people, claiming Melissa had, zero contact with them.
But then came the cross-examination. Prosecutor Hilton.
Well, things got difficult for the defense there.
Difficult is putting it mildly. Hilton pulls out actual documents.
Devastating documents, really. State's Exhibit 71, it's a letter.
From Melissa herself.
From Melissa to her mother, talking about being frustrated with the Wolfenbargers, wanting her mom involved with the kids, even saying she planned to cut Christopher's family off.
Wow. Directly contradicting the testimony. Completely. And there was more.
The cards.
Exhibits 67 to 70. Birthday cards, anniversary, Mother's Day, Father's Day. All from Melissa to her parents.
And Cameron had to look at them.
Had to acknowledge they looked real, expressed love. She also had to admit she and Melissa kind of grew apart after '98.
So her knowledge of later crucial events was limited.
Right. And she denied telling a detective that Melissa was planning to leave Christopher. So, is it memory or something else?
It really puts the reliability of family testimony under a microscope, doesn't it? Especially against hard evidence.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just memory. The testimony also brought up this documented pattern of domestic violence.
The timeline was striking there.
Yeah, Melissa tries to dissolve temporary guardianship just 2 days after calling the police on Christopher for assault.
But then gives Kathy permanent guardianship the same day she drops the protective order against him.
It shows her making her own choices, yes, but within that really tragic cycle of violence and reconciliation.
Okay, so after Kimberly Cameron, the defense calls Christopher's mother, Kathy Wolfenbarger.
Mm-hmm.
She also says Melissa wanted her, Kathy, to have custody over Melissa's parents.
Right, backing up her daughter on that point.
But her testimony, it was really noticeable how vague she was, wasn't it? Dates, details.
Very vague.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't recall if the police ever talked to her about Melissa disappearing. Denied knowing about the protective order, or Melissa wanting to dissolve guardianship.
That lack of recall seems convenient, or maybe genuinely fuzzy after all this time.
It's hard to say for sure, but it got worse. She said she told the kids Melissa just left, and they'd look for her.
But did they look? Did they call the police?
She admitted no. Never actually looked, never called the police, said she didn't know where to look, even seemed unsure if she saw Melissa at Christmas 1998.
That inaction, it's chilling.
It really is. And then the defense tried to use these photos, to humanize Christopher.
Just showing him with the kids at events Melissa wasn't at.
Yeah, but the prosecution flipped it, pointing out Melissa was absent because she was dead. And the one photo with Melissa, it was from before all the documented violence started.
Oof, that backfired.
Big time.
So connecting these dots, this day really throws the challenges of cold case trials into sharp relief.
Absolutely. Degraded evidence, faded memories, and then bam, documents that just blow testimony out of the water.
And legally in Georgia for a case based only on circumstances.
The evidence has to rule out every other reasonable explanation for what happened, every other hypothesis of innocence.
And all these contradictions, the unexplored leads like that Mr. Holyfield person mentioned earlier, potential issues with the original investigation. Does that create reasonable doubt?
It certainly could. It raises huge questions. Witness impeachment was on full display, maybe family closing ranks, potential Brady violations even, if exculpatory evidence was withheld way back when.
Which leads to a massive decision for Christopher Wolfenbarger himself. Does he testify?
It's a huge gamble, weighing his Fifth Amendment right to silence against, what the jury might think if he doesn't speak, especially after his family's testimony.
So where does this leave the jury? They've got a prosecution case with no physical evidence tying him to the crime scene.
And defense witnesses whose stories were systematically picked apart by documents and their own troubling statements or lack of action.
Melissa Wolfenbarger's story is just heartbreaking. A young mother, violence, found dismembered. You desperately want justice.
Of course. But our system demands that the desire for justice, however strong, is balanced against that constitutional burden of proof. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Can the jury separate the feeling, the probability that he might be guilty from that high legal standard, especially with faded memories and questions about the original investigation?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's the profound challenge they face.
Yeah.
And that's where Day 6 leaves us hanging.